Okay, it feels like I'm finally ready to go here. Calvin Castine at the Mart lanes, just outside of beautiful downtown Rouse's Point. And we're here for CVAC Varsity Bowling, Beekmantown Eagles, and the Northeastern Clinton Central School Cougars. This is the A match. This is the boys A match. And we're up to the fourth bowler for the Eagles, Billy West, and for the Cougars, the third bowler, that'd be Adam Bayshide. And now we have Craig Vaughn for the Eagles and Charles Martin for the Cougars. Vaughn gets 9 pins on his first ball, and Martin gets 8. Leaves a 6-10. Spare for Vaughn. Here's Martin going for his spare. He's blocking the view, and now we know why. He ends up with 8 for the frame. That'll start the second frame, and Dylan Roberts for Northeastern. We were still setting up our camera when the action started. And Josh Friend, the anchor bowler for the Cougars, in lane number 13. Roberts carries a 142 average. Number 2 Cougar bowler, Chris Burley, as Roberts sticks that in the gutter. Burley carries a 154, Adam Bayshard a 148, Charles Martin a 149. They're all bunched together, and Josh Friend at the top of the group, the anchor bowler, carries a 180 average. This is David Durham getting 9 pins in his first ball, and Chris Burley getting 9 in his first ball in the second frame. Durham carries a 169 average. The number 2 bowler, Jacob Martin, carries a 151. Shane Siskavich a 154. Billy West a 179. And Craig Vaughn a 175. Durham will spare, and also sparing was Burley. As usual, we're bringing you 3 matches today. 3 games today in this match. The boys A, followed by either the girls match or the boys B, depending on who's moving the faster. A strike for Jacob Martin, and Bayshard gets 7 pins in his first ball in the second frame. Here, Bayshard will go next again, and he will miss his spare, leaving the head pin. Now here's Shane Siskavich. He's working on a strike, and he will double. He just doubles here to start his first game of the afternoon. Here's Charles Martin for the Cougars, and he leaves a 10 pin. That brings up Billy West. West had 7 pins in his first frame. There's Martin going for his spare. West waiting for the pin setter. Martin will miss his spare, and that gives him his second open in as many frames. West looks like a strike, and it brings up Josh Friend for the Cougars. Yeah. All right, we missed the next 2 bowlers because we were relocating. Won't be blocked out anymore on that 13 alley. So we had a strike from Craig Vaughn in the second frame, and a spare from Josh Friend. Brings us to the third frame. Durham gets a strike, and Dylan Roberts gets a strike. Now here's Martin. He leaves a 4-7-10. That's Jacob Martin. And here's Burley for the Cougars, and he will get 7 on his first ball. Here's Martin going for his spare. And he leaves a 10 pin. One for the wood. Burley looking to pick up his spare, and he will miss it. Leaves them all. That gets us to Saskavich for the Eagles. Saskavich, go! Left a pin. Here's Bayshard for Northeastern, and Bayshard leaves a 10 pin. Well, Saskavich had a double coming in here and almost tripled, but he will pick up his spare. And there's Bayshard going for the 10 pin. Going to put it in the gutter. And let's see, 170. Oh, we better look at the with handicap. Looks like they're pretty close with handicap at the moment. Here is West. For the Eagles, he leaves the 10 pin, a wiggling 10 pin at that. Here's Charles Martin for Northeastern, and he leaves the 1-3. Well, let's see, 320 to 320. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. West misses his spare. Here's Martin going for his, and he will cover it. Craig Vaughn gets 9 in his first ball in the third, and Josh Friend with a strike. In the gutter. Vaughn misses his spare. Now leading off the fourth frame, leaving the 4-7, is David Durham. Here's Roberts for the Cougars. And he gets 8, leaves the 3-6. Durham gets 9 for the frame, and Roberts will put his spare ball in the gutter. Jacob Martin leaves the 10 pin, and Chris Burley leaves the 4-7-10. Miss, oh, a little curve, a nice. If he was a baseball pitcher, that would have been a great pitch. But Martin with a curveball missed the spare. Meanwhile, Burley picked up his spare. Here's Saskavich. Gets 9 pins on his first ball, and Bayshard up for the Cougars. Gets 8 pins. Leaves the 2-5. Scavich will miss his spare by a hair. And Bayshard will also miss his spare. So let's check that ongoing score. We got 382 to 376. It remains tight. Here's West for the Beekmantown club, and he strikes. Now Charles Martin for the Cougars, and he leaves the 10 pin. We're in the fourth frame, game 1 at the Mart. It's the 10th day of January 2005. It's a Monday. And there's a strike from Craig Vaughn. And Martin spares. Friend steps up there. I was playing with my extension, my microphone cord, and he stepped up there quickly and threw a strike to finish up the fourth frame. That's his third strike. Roberts gets 8 pins on his first ball. And leaving the 4 pin is Durham in the 5th frame. Roberts gets 9 for the frame. There's Durham, and he will spare. And gets us to Burley for the Cougars, and Burley strikes. Jacob Martin for Beekmantown. Leaves the 10 pin. And Bayshard for the Cougars strikes. No strike for Adam Bayshard. We are in the 5th frame. 444 for the Cougars at the moment to 421 for Beekmantown. And missing the spare is Jacob Martin. Here's Charles Martin. And he leaves the 4 pin. Now Shane Saskavich. Bowling here in the 5th. And he picks off 7. And Martin will pick up his spare. Saskavich has 3 pins there with double wood. And he's going to miss them all. Here's Josh Friend, and Friend will... Oh, that's an interesting little spare. Looks like the 4-9-10, I think. Bill West with the strike. Looks like a 4-9-10 here for Friend. What a spare. What a spare for Josh Friend, a 4-9-10. Wow. Wow. You gotta be paying attention. There's a close-up, extreme close-up of the spare. Josh the spare Friend. Okay, we have an open there for Vaughn. Here's Durham. No, it's not Durham. That's Jacob Martin. Durham's already bowled. Here's Cougars' first bowler in the 6th frame, Roberts. Both bowlers leave a 10 pin. There's Saskavich. Gets 7 pins. Leaves a head pin and 2 back pins. Strike for Burley. We're in the 6th frame. Score remains close. Saskavich. Left the 7 pin. Bayshard for the Cougars. Gets 6 in his first ball in the 6th. Gets us to Billy West. And West leaves the 10 pin. A lot of solid 10 pins. Bayshard misses everything, gets 6 for the frame. This should be tightening it up a bit. 5:32 to 5:32. That's pretty tight. There's West going for his spare, and he will cover it. Oh, he hooked at the end. Now here's Charles Martin, and Martin will get a late drop, and he gets a strike. Wow. Martin knew he had only 9. He turned around, and then a pin spun around and got the standing pin for a strike. There's Friend, and he gets a strike. There's Vaughn going for his spare, puts it in the gutter. Now Durham will start things in the 7th frame. This game moving right along. And Durham gets the strike. Nice ball there from David Durham. There's Dylan Roberts for the Cougars. And he gets a late drop. This is viewer-supported television. If you're a bowling fan, or if you're a Beekmantown or Northeastern fan, we invite you to support our efforts. Strike here for Jacob Martin. Saskavich up now for the Eagles. And he looks like he left the, to call it a split, but looks like a 4-5-7. Burley, meantime, waiting for the pin setter. I think Saskavich can pick this one up if he gets it right between the 4 and the 5, and he does. He did it. Nice ball, perfectly placed. I'm almost on top of things, so here we are in the 7th frame, and I just realized that nobody's bowling on the 15th and 16th over there. Alleys, 15 and 16. The B team is bowling on 9 and 10 tonight. Oh, double pinochle for West. And Burley leaves a little bit of a wall. The 1, 2, 4. West gets just the 10 pin, and Burley leaves the head pin.
Right on the line.
It's Craig Vaughn on the 7th. He leaves the 1, 2, and Bayshard picks off just the 10 pins. 6-14 to 6-18. Cougars up by 4 pins, but the Eagles have a few extra bowlers ahead here. Spare for Vaughn, and the Bayshard gets 9 for the frame. Roberts will start the 8th frame for the Cougars as Martin continues in the 7th for Northeastern. And Roberts leaves the 8, Martin the 7. And both bowlers spare. Here's Friend, who has 3 strikes at least, and he gets another strike. Gives him a double. He had 4 strikes, so that gives him 5 strikes. The first 7 frames. Burley puts it in the gutter. He's bowling here in the 8th frame. Now Durham leading off the 8th for Beekmantown. And he leaves the 2-4. Burley going for his spare. He will get it. Well, Burley spares. One is a strike to spare when it's your second ball. Here's Durham. He will pick it up. Yes, nice ball. Nicely played. Here's Bayshard. Bowling in the 8th frame. Game 1. Bayshard gets 7 pins in his first ball. There's Martin for Beekmantown. Leaves a 10 pin. Bayshard leaves a 2-4-7. Martin apparently waiting for his ball. That's Jacob Martin. So Charles Martin will go ahead. Another late drop and another strike for Martin. He likes that playing. Here's Friend. Another split. Looks like a 4-6-10. Let's see if he can pick this one up. It'll be tougher to get this one. He gets 8 for the frame. Jacob Martin finally has his ball back. And throws it in the gutter. That'll bring up Siskavich. Let's see, 4-7-9. And he'll get a field goal right between the uprights. Billy West will bowl here in the 8th frame, and looks like Durham's ready to start the 9th. Waited a few minutes to give the lane 13 a chance to catch up with lane 14. West with 6 pins. And Durham gets 9. He left the 5 pin. Alright, West has an open and a spare here for Durham in the 9th frame. Here's Vaughn, and Vaughn strikes. That gives us to Jacob Martin, and Martin gets 9 pins. He left the 9 pin. Roberts throws it in the gutter. Martin going for his spare. We're in the 9th frame. Martin spares. Let's see what we got here. 7:30 to 7:46. Cougars with a slight lead here in the 9th. Roberts going for his spare, and he gets it. He picks up the spare with the 10-pin ball, and Saskavich leaves the 8-pin. Burley strikes. First Burley with the strike. And there's Saskavich. He spares. Bayshard wearing his lucky hat. His rally cap, I guess. And there's West for Beekmantown. Leaves a 6-10. Coach Young confiscating the rally cap. And it worked. Bayshard, minus the rally cap, picks up the spare. There's West. West spares. Bring up Charles Martin. And he strikes. We're in the 9th frame and a close match. Game 1. Here, the A teams going at it. Beekmantown at Northeastern Clinton at the Bull Mart. A double for Vaughn. Here's Friend. He leaves a 6-10. So we'll start the 10th frame. And Dylan Roberts. Picks off 7. And will spare. Roberts has the 1-3-9 to contend with. There's David Durham. He strikes. Roberts wills. No! Done in by the double wood. Left the 9-pin. So Roberts gets a 127, 170 with handicap. 832 to 791 at the moment. But 9 pins, and Burley strikes. Durham gets 9 pins in his first fill ball. Burley with a strike. Burley doubles. Actually, it's a triple. It's a turkey because he had a strike coming into the 10th. And Burley will strike out. Yes. This Burley strikes out. Gives him a 187 and a 221 with handicap. 882 to 800. And still waiting for a ball here on lane 13. Here's Bayshard striking. Dave Durham waiting for his ball to return. Actually waiting for the pin setter. Pin setter is still down. Double for Bayshard. And the Cougars coming on strong here in the 10th. And Bayshard will strike out. He gets 3 strikes in the 10th frame. Does him a 124, 163 with handicap. 9:22 for the Cougars as Charles Martin steps in. And there goes the string of strikes. He leaves the 4-pin. The strike string has stopped. Still waiting. There we go. The pin setter. The pin setter knocked the pin down here, and they'll have to reset those pins. Martin picks up the spare. Charlie Stone, the coach for Beekmantown. Not sure if Jim Garrett is still co-coach or not. And Martin's fill ball gives 7 pins. I'll bring up Josh Friend. Martin ends up with a 219 with handicap. We'll see what his scratch game was. 181 scratch. The Cougars have 958. There he goes. Everybody at the bowl there. That pin being reset. And Josh Friend leaves the 3-6-10. Durham spares. Friends picks up the spare. Give him a 180 plus his fill ball. Scratch. Jake Martin with the strike to start things in the 10th. And 6 on the fill ball, 193 looked like, and 208. Handicap Friend. Martin doubles. The Friend has a 15 handicap, so yep, 193 is what he got for scratch. So the Cougars have 981 team total with handicap. Strike for Martin. So we got a 175 for Durham, a 198 with handicap, a 152 for Martin, and a 191 with handicap. Now here's Saskavich. Left the 5-pin. With all the delays here, the girls are going to start before these guys are done. It's unusual, but there's been so many delays with the pin setter. So we'll glance over at the girls as they're starting their second game. Actually, they're bowling their second balls in the second game. Looks like Saskavich is waiting for a ball again. I will give you the name for the girl bowlers as we're waiting for the ball return over here.
No.
In the gutter. Bowlers for Beekmantown. Oh, here we go. Saskavich gets 8 pins. Nice. That gives him an open in the 10th. The girls for the Beekmantown are Allie Munson, Michelle Dubuque, Kim Backus, Carly Munson, and Kayla Pellerin. The girls for Northeastern are Megan Friend, Kelsey Deso, Danielle Parker, Erin Sorrell, and Danielle Tierney. Here is West for Beekmantown. Saskavich finished with a 154 and a 188 with handicap. West leaves a little double pinochle. Let's see, there's 880 to 981. Looks like it's out of reach. Gave it a nice try, but West will have an open. A 137 and a 152 with handicap. Wow! Oh my God! Here's Vaughn, and Vaughn strikes in the 10th. Vaughn picks up the spare. So it gives him a 178, 196 with handicap. So the Cougars take game 1, 925, 981, a close match. We're going to move over to the girls. All right, we have wandered over to the girls match. And hopefully we'll be able to figure out where we are. Let's see, we got Fran up for the Cougars. little body English. And Allie Munson for the Eagles. Friend will spare. Now gets us to Michelle Dubuque for Beekmantown. She strikes. This looks like Diso for the Cougars. And she gets 8 pins in her first ball. Kelsey Diso. Now we have Kim Backus. And she leaves the wiggling 4-pin. 1, 2, 4. Diso, meanwhile, gets 9 for the frame. I'll bring up Parker for the Cougars. We're in the 3rd frame already here for the girls. Spare for Backus. Parker gets 6 pins. Now we've got Carly Munson. I'll give you some averages here in a moment. Munson will pick off 8. And Danielle Parker will miss her spare. Averages for the Cougars. Friend carries a 128. Diso a 138, Parker a 129, Erin Sorrell a 139, and Danielle Tierney a 173. Here is Sorrell. And she strikes, a little action off the wall. And here's Munson for the Eagles, and she will pick up her spare. That's Carly Munson. Now Danielle Tierney. It's 9 pins in her first ball. And leaving the 7-pin is Kayla Pellerin for Beekmantown. Tierney with a 173 average. She's the anchor bowler for the Cougars. She covers it. There's Pellerin, and she will miss that 7-pin. She's Beekmantown's anchor bowler. Allie Munson up now for Beekmantown. She carries a 165 average. Dubuque a 154. Kim Backus a 144. Carly Munson a 171 and Kayla Pellerin a 186. Here's Friend for the Cougars, and she will yank it to the left and pick off a total of 5 pins. Here's Munson going for her spare. And she leaves the 10-pin. Friend will miss her spare. Now we have a strike for Michelle Dubuque. There's Diso for the Cougars. She strikes. Strike for Kim Backus for Beekmantown. Now Parker for the Cougars. And she gets 6 pins on her first ball.
I guess we'll just have to go to Yankee Stadium.
Parker gets 9 for the frame. Sorrell gets 7 on her first ball, and Munson got, let's see, Pellerin gets 9. Sorrell picks up the spare. Carly Munson got 8 on her frame. Let's see what our score is. 392. There's Tierney bowls here and strikes. There's Pellerin going for a spare. She will miss it. 472 to 392. There's a score at the moment as we start the 5th frame already. Allie Munson gets a late drop, gets a strike. And Megan Friend gets 7 pins on her first ball. Here's up Michelle Dubuque. I have a strike for Dubuque and a spare for Friend. We're watching viewer-supported local television, hometown cable. We rely on your support to keep this coming. If you're a bowling fan, we'd certainly appreciate hearing from you. Backus gets 2 on her first ball, and Diesel gets 9 on her first ball here in the 5th frame. Backus gets 8 for the frame. And Diesel will spare. Barely sparing, but a spare is a spare. Now Carly Munson. Parker. The first time we've used this camera in bowling, and it's very touchy as far as the zoom, so we're zooming fast. There's Sorrell. Gets 6 pins. Now Munson will miss the spare. And Sorrell covers her spare. This is to Pellerin and Tierney. There's Pellerin. She strikes. And here's Tierney. And Tierney strikes. Friend leaves the 1, 3, 6. Allie Munson. Left the 5 pin. Or is that? Friend gets 9 for the frame. Pick up the spare. That was Allie Munson. Diesel gets 6 pins. And there's Michelle Dubuque. She gets 8 pins. We're gonna have to switch tapes somewhere in this sequence, and as soon as we find the tape, we might be switching it here. So we'll miss a ball or two. It gets us to Parker and Backus. And Parker gets 9 pins. And after Backus bowls, we're going to switch the tapes. So stick around. We got action. Will continue here, but we're going to switch tapes. We have Sorrell and Carly Munson. Let's see. Diesel had an open, and Backus got a spare. Sorrell will have an open. Munson has a tough spare to pick up here. It's like a 1, 2, 7, 9. I don't know. So it looks like from here. She got it. A nice spare. Nice pickup from Carly Munson. Tierney gets 9 pins on her first ball. Now here's Pellerin for Beekmantown. Pellerin with a strike, gives her a double. And Tierney will spare, yes. I'll bring up Friend in the... Friend strikes. And we are in what frame here? We're in the 7th frame. 7th frame. Allie Munson. Leaves the 1-3. There's Diesel. Diesel gets 8 on her first ball. There's a spare. Diesel will miss her spare. That'll bring us to Dubuque for Beekmantown. Drops a 9. There's Parker for the Cougars. Gets 5 pins.
If you get in a grip, I'm just saying that.
Parker leaves the 10 pin. Dubuque picks up her spare. Let's check the score. 592, 667. Backus with a strike. And Sorrell leaves the 10 pin. Seven pins and spare for Sorrell. 7 pins for Carly Munson. Brings up Tierney for the Cougars. like a 1-2-8 for Munson. She gets it up, nice pickup, and there's 6 pin left by Tierney. There's Pellerin. 2 strikes. Gives her a triple. And Tierney will spare. Now starting the 8th frame. Friend gets 9 pins. Friend misses her spare. Allie Munson got 7 pins in her first ball here in the 8th frame. And Munson will spare, yes. Here's Diso for the Cougars. And Diso with a strike. Brings up Dubuque for Beekmantown. She gets a late drop on the 10 pin. She got a strike. There's Parker for the Cougars. It's 2, I think, on her first ball. There's Backus, which leaves the 1-3-6. Parker got 3 pins. Going for a spare, and she will get 9 for the frame. There's Backus. And she spares. Now Sorrell for the Cougars. Sorrell leaves a 10 pin. There's Carly Munson for Beekmantown. Two strikes. And Sorrell misses her 10 pin. Pellerin up for Beekmantown. Two strikes. Brings up Tierney for the Northeastern Club. And Danielle Tierney strikes. Moving to the 9th frame, and Megan Friend. 1-2-7-9, I think. And Allie McGraw. Nine pins for the frame for Friend. Munson gets 9 for the frame. Diso up for the Cougars. She leaves a 5-10. It's known as the Kresge's split, the 5 and 10. Double wood for Dubuque. And Diso gets the 5 pin. 978 to 795. Dubuque has an open. Parker puts it in the gutter. I said 978, actually 798 to 797 now. This is another close one here. Backus picks off 3 pins. And 9 pins for Parker. Backus going for a spare and gets 7 for the frame. Meanwhile, Sorrell spares. There's Munson for the Eagles and Tierney for the Cougars. Munson strikes and Tierney leaves a 7-10. All right, great opportunity here for Danielle Tierney to pick up the 7-10. Great opportunity. She must be excited about this. Brother James always wanted to be the one to do it on Hometown Cable. We already saw that great spare earlier by Josh Friend. Let's see if Tierney can pick up the 7-10. No, she didn't do it. But she got 3 points for the field goal. Well, a chance for Beekmantown to jump into the lead. Here's Pellerin. It's 9 for the frame. 8:45 to 8:33. Beekmantown up by a dozen. We are starting the 10th frame. Allie Munson starts it off with 8 pins. And Megan Friend gets 9, leaves a 7. Well, here's the score, 8:59 for Beekmantown, 8:42 for Northeastern. But I think Beekmantown has more marks coming in than the Cougars. Friend has an open. There's Munson going for a spare, and she will pick it up. Yes. Well, we're going to show the scoreboard, but we'll stick here with Diso. Diso leaves the 10 pin. There's Munson going for a fill ball. It's 9. Diso picks up the spare. Well, let's see. Cougars have just 1 mark coming into the 10th. That's Sorrell's strike. There's 1 mark coming in. So it's tough to pick up pins when you only have 1 mark. Here's Dubuque. Dubuque strikes. Okay, 151 for Allie Munson. There's Dubuque going for a spare for a fill ball. She gets 10 on her fill ball. Her first fill ball. Here's Parker. Well, let's see here. 120 for Friend. 133 for Diso. Dubuque with another strike. Dubuque struck out. She strikes out. Now we better get back here to Parker. Parker misses her spare, so Dubuque finishes with a 2-13. What a nice game she had. Here's Backus. Leaves a 4-7. Here's Sorrell. Sorrell with a strike. Backus with the spare. He'll get a fill ball. Let's check here. Parker finished with an even 100. Sorrell working on a double is up. There's Backus. I guess we're waiting for a ball. There we go. 3 in a row for Sorrell. We've got one more fill ball coming. There's Carly Munson. 9:08 to 9:22 is actually closer than I thought it would be at this point. Sorrell gets 9 on their last fill ball. There's Munson, and we have Tierney set for the Cougars. And Munson with a strike. Let's see here, 177 for Sorrell. Nice game for her. There's the fill ball for Munson, and she will strike. And Tierney with a strike. So Munson finishes with a 154. Here's Pellerin. Pellerin strikes. And Tierney will double. Nine pins for Pellerin on her first fill ball. Here's Tierney getting 8 on her first fill ball. And she is done.
Pick up the pins on a split, that's 200.
There's Pellerin. 2 spares. They're a 178. And Tierney got a 199. How about that? Nice game for Tierney. 178 for Pellerin. The B-boys are way behind there. Way behind.